Our first story is a story about the Apple ecosystem and the layer of products that they have, from iPads to computers to iPhones, watches, and everything in between that as well. Well, there's an article that's just been put up by Bloomberg saying that Apple is slowly moving away from its annual product release strategy. And they've kind of already done that over the last couple of years with their iPads and their computers and things like that. But when is it, really going to start to happen with the rest of their products, maybe specifically their iPhones? And will it happen with iPhones? Because it theoretically could. When you think about the annual upgrades that we get with any phone, iPhones, if any phone really, could be the ones that could take a year or two off, especially when the design doesn't change all that much. The power is already there. It's not like these things are lagging year over year over year that you need to upgrade. There's reasons why you don't really need to upgrade. And it kind of goes along with Apple's, slogan of, not polluting the environment and being eco-friendly. And if you don't have to release a new iPhone and people are, getting rid of their old one, getting a new one, it helps with that whole ecosystem of saying we are eco-friendly and we're all for the environment. And that's probably, if they do this, how they will spin this, so that you don't think like, oh man, I don't get a new iPhone this year, I gotta wait 2 years for it now. That's the way they'll probably spin it. Now, nothing's written in stone, again, about the iPhones. I think that's probably the biggest thing, at least my audience would be interested in with that. It could happen though. I can see it happening one day. And if this builds momentum, I will definitely let you guys know, but I'm pretty sure as of now, there will be an iPhone 17 and it'll come out next year. I thought this was pretty cool. This shows off a render that Ice Universe made of a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra with the One UI 7 software sitting on top of it, with the quick toggles that, when you pull down that panel. And I still look at this and I find beauty in it. I find that, it could be a bit confusing, parts of it, I guess, because there's no tags under some of these things in terms of like, is that the volume, the mute switch? Are those the brightness meters for the display? What is that in the very top there? You can see Wi-Fi and stuff like that and Bluetooth, but nothing else has names. I can see one thing that would be taken away as being like annoying, that you can't put the name, or maybe you will be able to in the settings of it. But I like this. I think it looks great. I am so looking forward to One UI 7 because they are making some changes in there. It's not the same old that they've been doing for year in and year out. It is definitely something new. It's a change. Again, I think I've said it before, the biggest thing for me is having that ability to have super smooth animations and fluidity all throughout the operating system. I'm so looking forward to that, especially on the Fold 6, but this looks great. The phone looks great too. Look at the really small bezels. S25 Ultra is gonna be a beast in a lot of ways, but a lot of the same in other ways. So the Microsoft Surface Duo 2, the second generation of their Duo/folding phone, has ended support officially, basically. It received an update the other day, and October 21st is the official end date, so it won't probably receive another update ever again. And I had such high hopes for these devices when they first were released. They had the Surface Duo 1 and then the Surface Duo 2, and they were just really interesting phones. They had two displays, two full-size displays, or you could use it independently when it was closed. And ultimately, it just wasn't a perfect phone. It had a high price for the most part for a phone, but then the specs inside weren't always the newest specs that you would get at the time that they were released, meaning like there was other phones that had much, a year or two processor newer, and then other things weren't super high on there in terms of charging speeds, and the cameras weren't that great. There was things about that were interesting, being the actual physical form factor and having two displays that were really cool. That was like the coolest thing about it, at least in my eyes. And then everything else was a little bit just kind of okay, and maybe even below par to an extent. And even the software experience was kind of clunky. I felt like sometimes it would be cool, but sometimes it wouldn't. And it just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and I could never fully keep it as my driving phone for every single day. And the folding phones that were out at the time going against it, which are still out to this day, have it be the Samsung Galaxy phones or a regular traditional candy bar phone. Those just seemed better. The software seemed better. The experience was better. But I'm so glad that Microsoft released such a really innovative, interesting product, but no one really bought it at the end of the day. It's interesting because you think about Microsoft and in the the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, and even today, they dominate the PC market. They are the go-to operating system. They still make the Xbox, which is an excellent piece of hardware. They make laptops that are really, really nice. But beyond that, mobile phones, they just never really either entered the market at the right time or released the right product at the right time. But you can't fault them. They tried different things. Windows OS just a decade ago or so was different. It felt different. It wasn't Android. It wasn't Apple. It felt different. It was different. And then they released this phone, which did run Android, and it just didn't. It was just a little bit too awkward, and it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't the right specs, and it was probably not the right price, and there was probably a lot of things going on against it. But I have to give it to them. It was cool to try, and that's the type of stuff that I love. Is like these folding, tri-folding, sliding, whatever it may be, expanding the surface area of a regular phone to something huge like this was just awesome and amazing. So getting a round of applause from me, but it is sad to see it kind of finally die out software-wise, and you could probably still buy one on eBay. But other than that, I don't think Microsoft's going to come out with another Surface product. Maybe they'll come out with a regular traditional folding phone or something like that, but I don't know. I would like to see them come out with same thing with Sony. Build off your gaming power. The Xbox phone, the PlayStation phone. I know PlayStation had a phone, but build off that. Come up with something that's really great. Not weird. I don't know. That kind of goes against what I said, saying I want these different and weird products, but I want them to make sense and I want them to feel cool to use. But build off that. I think that would be interesting to have something along those lines. The Xbox phone that maybe can be the remote gaming phone for the Xbox library. And PlayStation could do something similar. The Galaxy S25 potentially is not going to use a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 or an Exynos processor. It instead is being tipped off that it's going to be using the MediaTek Dimensity 9400. Now, I don't know if this will carry over all throughout the world or just internationally outside of the United States and other places that generally get the Snapdragon processor. But if you get this processor, this is no slouch. The Antutu score is over 3 million. It has TSMC's second generation 3 nanometer process, second generation all big core design, 12 core Immortalis G925 GPU, which offers 40% faster ray tracing, upscaling HyperEngine super resolution, 41% peak performance, 44% power saving. It's ready for tri-foldables, 8th generation NPU, so that's going to be great for AI things. And the score of, say, an 8 Gen 3 on the Antutu score is just over 2 million. So you can see that the Dimensity 9400 is a big jump if you're coming from a phone that had the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 even, and obviously it's more powerful than any Exynos processor. So this is a good thing at the end of the day. This is not going to be a negative. The Dimensity processors are awesome. I've tested them on the new Galaxy tablets. I've tested them on the new Xiaomi phone that I've done a video on and shown some gaming performance on there, which is absolutely awesome. No hiccups or anything. You can play at ultra high settings, and this is taking it to a whole nother level in terms of performance. So if you are going to be in a place where the S25, when it comes out, gets the Dimensity 9400, it's definitely 2 thumbs up. It definitely competes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. Now, I want to preface by saying that the Dimensity 9400 is not going to be the processor that completely takes over all three of the Galaxy S25s. The 25 Ultra worldwide should still be the 8 Gen 4. It's the S25 and 25 Plus, potentially the 25 Plus, that'll have the Dimensity 9400, but it sounds like it's only going to be the regular S25 that gets the Dimensity 9400. How do you guys feel about this? This is, again, MediaTek makes some awesome processors, and they're just great for everything that you want to do. So, but I know some people don't know all about it, or they think it's related to cheaper devices and things like that. This is not the case. We have a story about the Galaxy S25 Ultra. There's a few things that have been updated on my list of information about this, and I wanted to kind of go through those and give you a heads up on what to expect. So I've highlighted the things in red that are seemingly changed on here, or updated or improved. The first one being the display. So 6.8 inch, 120 hertz display, but the big thing in this is that the graininess problem that was a issue on past Galaxy phones, specifically on the S24 series of phones, which I'll be honest, I didn't notice, but if you have it, it's reportedly gone, and much improved display on the S25 series of phones, not just the Ultra, but we're talking about the Ultra. So if you had that graininess issue where when you looked at it, it was a little bit of graininess, it didn't look as crisp as possible, it has been fixed with the S25 Ultra. We still don't know the nits of the brightness of the display, but reportedly, I think it's going to be about 3,000 nits. Snapdragon 8 Gen 4, which is obviously a duh moment. RAM, 16 and 12 gigs of RAM, depending upon the version you get. Storage, 256, all the way up to 1 terabyte. The cameras are basically the same, except for the new ultra wide at 50 megapixels, which is really, really cool. We also have, with that camera stuff, what's better about it is much better video and photo quality from the new ISP and processing algorithms, and that's kind of what you would expect. Like, I felt like the quality of the photos was crisper on the Z Fold 6 versus the Z Fold 5, and I expect a lot of, even though it was the same cameras, and I expect that with the S25 Ultra as well. Now, continuing on, we've got the dimensions, we've got the weight, which it will be weight, it will be thinner as well. You're also looking at 5,000 milliamp battery, which is the same as the S24 Ultra, but it's going to be much longer battery life with their new algorithms and higher efficiency that are built into the software and also within the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. So I wouldn't, is this going to go from, say, we'll just make up a number, 5 hours of screen on time all the way up to 10? No, it's probably going to be something a little bit more moderate. Maybe you'll get 30, maybe you'll get an hour more, maybe you'll get more than that depending upon how you use the phone. So just keep that in mind when we say that. Now, charging has been updated. Charging is 45 watt wired, but we're also supposed to be rumored to now be getting increased wireless charging due to Qi 2.0, which will give us 25 watts of wireless charging. So that's a nice little get, but you're gonna have to buy a charger that actually allows you to charge at 25 watts. So you'll have to either buy it from Samsung, or you'll have to buy it from Anker or somebody else that sells a 25 watt Qi 2.0 charger. I don't even think that stuff is out yet, and I don't even know if it's been officially announced yet. It will be if it hasn't already, but it is coming and expected to be launching. iPhone has it already, 16. They can do 25 watt wireless charging. They just haven't come out with a Qi 2 wireless charger that does that yet. Satellite connectivity for emergencies, it's on the Pixel phones. It'll be on these phones as well, so that you can message your friends or family members or emergency services when you want to do a text like that. Materials is going to be basically, we don't fully know, but about the same. One UI 7.0, that is obviously new. We know this because they're going to launch 7.0 with this phone, and they're not going to jump to 7.1. It's going to be 7.0 when this launches. We were expecting 7.1 because we thought this was going to come out earlier, but it's going to be 7.0 on the S25 Ultra. New Galaxy AI features, we don't fully know much about it, but we would expect it. 7 years of OS and security updates. A price increase, my guess is $100, and January 2025 release date. Announcement and release date for that phone. So some good quality additions to the rumor mill there on the S25 Ultra that are going to enhance and improve this phone in some ways. I think the biggest thing is the wireless charging. It's nice to see that they're actually improving, most likely, the wireless charging on this to get it a little bit faster, especially if you're a big wireless charging fan. Galaxy Z Fold 6, One UI 7, where are we at? Is it even anywhere close to being potentially released in the next couple of months or not? Well, it looks like it potentially is because of a tweet put up by Ice Universe saying that Samsung has already tested One UI 7 in the Z Fold 6, which is the latest version. And he shows the model number here for the Z Fold 6, as well as One UI 7. And I am so waiting for this. It's obviously, the hardware hasn't been terribly exciting for the last couple of years, few years from Samsung. It's been repetitive. And this is great. I keep hearing more and more great things about how great One UI 7 is, or how smooth it is. And I'm just so looking forward to it. I think it's a great thing. And hopefully it'll meet its deadlines and be out in the next 2 or 3 months. But that doesn't stop us, because we also have the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And this also is related to the Z Fold 6, because they are carrying over some design language from the Z Fold 6 over to the S25 Ultra. This image shows you this, and it shows you that ultimately the cameras are going to look quite similar from the Z Fold 6 to the S25 Ultra. I have those big black rings that go around the cameras, and I'm probably one of the few people that actually likes that design. When I see it to the left, it doesn't look bad, but when I look it to the right, it just looks more full, extra full, really. And it just looks like a nice design. I like the way it looks. I think it looks good on my Galaxy Z Fold 6 as well. So it's not supposed to be exactly the same S25 Ultra cameras versus the Z Fold 6 cameras in terms of that design that goes around the ring of the phone, camera rings, but it's supposed to be kind of similar. And I'm okay with that. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think they're ruining the design of the S25 Ultra, where they're removing the squared off edges, where they're gonna have it be slimmer, the bezels are slimmer, the camera rings are thicker? Let me know your thoughts. One of the things that people hate about the Galaxy Z Fold line is the crease, and the crease can be kind of off-putting for the first time when you see it. You're like, dude, what is that thing in the middle? I can see the indent on the screen. It's very not attractive. But for most people, everyone really, after you start using it, you just forget about it. Like, I don't even think about it at all. But what about the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Special Edition? It looks like it's going to improve on that in a major way. The latest coming from Ice Universe is that the Z Fold 6 Special Edition, this time they have done a good job in crease control, better than ever. Now, he doesn't say how much better than ever or how much different it's going to be on the phone, but it's going to be better. So I think that's going to be good for the folks over in Korea and China. I would expect China especially probably to be more hypercritical about the crease in the display, because of the fact that the phones that they have over there, the crease is basically almost non-existent on a lot of those phones for the folding lines that they have over there. The other question I have of this is, now we're in, let's just say it, we're in mid-October and we still haven't had the phone yet. When is it? Where is it? Is it ever going to release? And it's supposed to be released this month. I guess it's just a matter of time at this point, but I'm still wondering where the hell the damn thing is. Yeah, I'm just surprised more leaks and things haven't come from it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about this new improved crease. Are we gonna see this on the Galaxy Z Fold 7? I would expect yes. My conclusions and my guesses for the Z Fold 7 are that it's gonna be improved and with bigger displays and less crease and things like that. Yesterday we spoke about the crease being much improved on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Special Edition, but we didn't say why or how they potentially are doing it, because this uses ultra thin glass on the Z Fold 6, but the Z Fold 6 Special Edition is reportedly going to be using something different. That something different is UFG, also known as ultra flexible glass, which would be instead of the normal ultra thin glass, and this would be the first time that Samsung is using this on their folding phones. We're getting this information from Ross Young, ultimately, who's knowing and knowledgeable a lot about displays on phones, and it's kind of cool to see what the new technology is, how it feels different versus something that we already get with the Z Fold line. Is it going to be more scratch resistant? Is it gonna feel better quality? Obviously the crease is less. So some questions that I would have and some curiosities that would pique my interest in it, maybe to see how it feels and how it's different versus what we have now. Now, story of the day, man, this is actually awesome. If you know Samsung, if you go into the Galaxy Store on your phone, Galaxy Store has all these different apps from Galaxy and apps that you can get in the Play Store as well. One of the apps you can get in there is called Good Lock. Now, Good Lock is an app that allows you to customize your phone. It's a free app made by Samsung, and there's tons of little modules in here. One of the modules in here is called Home Up. Home Up allows you to customize your home screens and things like that. Well, there's a new feature being put in there for One UI 7, and it's going to be Home Up 16.0, and this is what it has. I got to explain this to you because this is pretty cool. If you remember, One UI 7 is supposed to bring much improved animations, much smoother animations. Everything about it feels supposed to feel faster and smoother. Well, One UI is adding on to that with their Home Up update for this. When we look at this, it says pixel by pixel. So you can actually come in here and look at the home gesture animation tuning. You can actually tune the animations to be different with this updated app when One UI 7 launches. So you can do pixel by pixel. That's you can see enjoy the feeling of pure animation. That is the Google Pixel animations. If you love those, you'll be able to get those on One UI 7. The scent of a certain fruit. Feel the sweet taste of red fruit. That's Apple. So if you love Apple's animation, that's what that's gonna, you can tune them so they feel exactly like that. Simple tuning, you can see fast or emotionally, your choice, and that is just simple. They don't have, it's not tuned after anybody. Or you can even go into advanced tuning down below, and you can see you can tune the details of the animation. You can go into settings, which they don't show, and tune it that way as well. This is huge, amazing information. And I would I love a fast animation, so I probably can see myself maybe using the simple tuning. But I also like the pixel animations and the Apple animations, but sometimes they feel too long. They're really smooth, but sometimes they just feel too long. I want it to be like that. So maybe that's why I think I'll end up using simple tuning set to fast. But this is really, really cool. This is pretty cool to be able to get that type of customization on your animations. I don't know of any other company that offers custom animations on your phone. This is awesome. Which one would you guys use out of the four here, and why? Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.